abstract brainwaves. Game genie in the beanie. We ain't on the same stage, leveled up.
Okay, so we are actually in the game room. We haven't been in here in quite some time. The reason why we're in the game room is I want to showcase some stuff that I have acquired. So I'll keep it brief here. So when I was younger, there were these Marvel trading cards. I want to say like 91, 92, and then years later. But back when I was a kid, back when I was living in Connecticut, I went to a school where I had some affluent friends, you know, friends whose parents were doctors, lawyers, and stuff like that. I only give that to give context to the situation because I was a kleptomaniac as a kid. Yeah, I'm admitting that here. I'm not perfect, but it was you either had or you didn't. And if your parents couldn't provide it for you, you were tempted to take things. And I did. It didn't matter if it was Ninja Turtles or, you know, X-Men toys. I just had to have it. But I ultimately learned that stealing is not right. But it wasn't because you told me it wasn't right. That's not how I learned. How I learned was when you take from somebody, you might think that they could just get something back. But ultimately, it's the shame that comes with that. Like if you take something and your family gets looked at because of your actions, then it's clearly not right. And, you know, you can argue, well, does that include media? Like if you steal a movie digitally versus a physical movie from a store that has to pay for that, that's not what this video is about. But I'm just giving you context here. So there was a kid named Ben Porter. I always think of him when I think of these cards because he used to always have these. So Ben, if you're watching, you probably aren't. But again, I apologize for taking one of your X-Men cards. I did apologize them in person. I actually got caught where they actually came to my locker and they saw, you know, I don't even remember what card it was, but it was basically in my locker. And the whole time I was like the murder suspect who is helping the police find the murderer. And it's you. Like, yeah, where could the card be, Ben? I don't know where it is. And then finally I searched my locker. It's like, oh, how did that get there, right? So anyway, I tell that, I humble myself and give you that to give you the backstory of why I'm even making this video in the first place. Those cards, you know, inflation was something you don't have a grasp of as a young kid. And I want to say I was like, I don't know, I'm guessing 8 years old. I don't remember, whatever it was in the 90s. I don't even want to put my age up out here, but those things were like $5 a pack. And there was roughly 200 cards, not including the foil ones, right? And a lot of times, like anything else, you get these cards and you wouldn't get you wouldn't get 5 new cards. The second pack you might even get some duplicates. That's the scary thing. We all wanted the foil cards and you might get one foil card per like 5 packs or something. I don't know what the rarity was, but you weren't going to collect them all. You had to probably spend, you know, over $200 just to get all 200 cards to begin with, right? And you're saying, well, maybe there was 10 cards a pack. I don't know how many they gave you, but $200 back then is worth a lot more now. So all of that out of the way, I'm going to cut to showing you that I actually acquired these cards. All right, so shout out to your boy Rakamatech. He was going through some of his things at his parents' house the other week, and he was talking about these cards. Now, back in the day, I had the Omega Red card. I think you can see it here. And what I loved about this card is, you know, I kept it in the plastic all these years. This thing is old as get out, but I preserved it. And these things give you the stats on the back of them. And I love the quotes they gave. Look at that. The sicker you get, the better I feel. X-Men #6, March 92. So they tell you the year and everything. It's like a little bio. And as a history nerd, because I eventually became one because, you know, school, encyclopedias, we didn't have Wikipedia when I was a kid. So here's what I'm showing. Here is the whole set. I found this on eBay. God bless eBay. I never thought that the day would come. You know, I wasn't even interested in these things anymore. You know, I'm familiar with X-Men and stuff like that. You see I've got stickers and stuff in my arcade one up here. But I wasn't going to go back and get them. Comic books have become very expensive to where they cost more than an actual meal. I remember spending like $2 on a comic and still getting $5 for like a McChicken combo at like McDonald's back when I used to eat that, and now it's the other way around. One comic book is going to cost just as much, if not more. So, rambling aside, let's actually get into it. Here it is, Marvel Universe. And the guy provided even this little pack here. Skybox is the company. So it came with 12 trading cards in each one. And this is Series 3. So that's what's dope about that. Series 3, I didn't know if it was Series 2 or whatever, but that answers all the questions right there. And starting out, you've got Spider-Man. So, you know, he's got a movie coming out. So this is Tom Holland himself right here. Or Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire. That's him right there. And what I loved is they had their own kind of backgrounds. I think one of the series connected to where it made like a whole like portrait if you had connected all the cards together. This was not that series, but I think that was the other series that I also collected. So right there you see Spider-Man, Quasar, Sleepwalker. These are all the 90s characters that were really cool. And they divvied them up by superheroes, and then there was like teams and then super villains. We're not going to go through all of these. I just wanted to, you know, show this because this was history for me, and I was proud of this. I recently lost a friend that worked at a comic book store that I visited. Rest in honor, Mark Merrill. You kept me into comic books locally in my area whenever I was able to see you. I know I just said how expensive comics were, and that's why I haven't been collecting them that much lately, but the little bit that I was still getting was at his store, which was local to my area. So he passed, and right before he passed, I was already in possession of these cards here. And what I would have loved to do if he was still here with us is to show him, like, yo, I got these cards. How much did they go for? And do you remember this from back in the day? And blah, blah. And maybe he has the holograms. Unfortunately, I don't have the holograms, but they're out there in the wild. You can probably buy them. Somebody's probably selling them. But I just wanted this to recapture part of my youth. Like, this isn't my set, so it doesn't mean the exact same, but I was able to get a good deal on it and to appreciate everything in here. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. Remember Captain Britain? Here's Luke Cage with the 90s cut. And then he's just going by the name Cage because that was supposed to be cooler, you know? Characters now are more realistic, so they kind of, you know, go by, you know, different names, and they don't have to be extra hard. They can just be normal people who have, you know, normal problems and complicated ones. But yeah, Black Widow. What is she saying here? Don't try to warn me of danger. I want the assignment. Right there, Amazing Spider-Man. But you see their like fighting abilities and stuff, you know? Black Widow's up there. She's almost a 7. And even in this drawing, you can see Scarlett Johansson kind of favors her even there. Silver Surfer, I can't wait till they do him right. But he's not strong as the Hulk, but hey, he's 7 just like Hulk is. If you look down here to Hulk, Hulk is actually 7 as well. But we know Hulk gets madder and madder. I never realized the pure joy of unadulterated mayhem for a good cause. Incredible Hulk, February 1992. So yeah, that's pretty cool. They gave Surfer a quote from 68. Where soars the Silver Surfer, there he must soar alone. And then you got She-Hulk, who she's not as strong as the Hulk. She's right there at a 6. But she's got the intelligence. He's clearly smarter than her too, because he's a scientist. She's a lawyer. But you know, she's pretty strong too. Daredevil, Morbius, Black Panther. You know, so what I loved about this was as a kid, you could sit around with your buddies and be like, well, who's stronger, this one or that one? And it's like, no, the trading cards are right here, bro. We can clearly see She-Hulk is not as strong as the Hulk because she's a 6 and he's a 7. Black Panther here. Not as strong, but intelligence is... They might have raised it later. I know they bump and nerf these guys all the time. He's a 5. He's supposed to be up there with, like, Reed Richards and stuff. You've got Daredevil. You know, his fighting ability is a 4. I thought it would be a little bit higher than that, like maybe a 5. But that's what they have it right here in 92. So maybe it went higher later, because you can see Nightcrawler is 1 above him at a 5. Nightcrawler having the ability to teleport and stuff like that, but there it is. Ant-Man, his intelligence is only a 3. I would think Ant-Man would be up there at like a 4. But there it is. Ghost Rider, look at that. Speed, he's pretty fast. I don't know if they're counting the motorcycle, but yeah. Strength, he's pretty strong. So there's that. Let's look at Punisher. Is Punisher a fighter? Is he more of a fighter than some of these other guys? We've got to see that. So they gave him a 4, and he's pretty pedestrian with everything else. Like, his strength isn't a 1, though. I think even the average human has like a 2. 2 on intelligence. Speed is a 2. Fighting ability is a 4. So then you look at Moon Knight, who's, you know, right there. 3. Fighting ability. He's fighting better than Punisher. He's up there at a 6. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. Intelligence is a 2. You got Shadowcat. She's a fighter. Look at that. She's a 4 in fighting. Warlock. Warlock is a beast, yo! Intelligence is 3. Energy projection is 7. Mental powers, fighting ability, all of that. Strength is a 5. That's probably the one thing, if he had higher, you know, you'd be looking at an MVP candidate there. Storm. Let's look at Storm. No 7s, but mental powers are up there. I think her energy projection, they got her as a 1, but, you know, fighting ability 4. So all the X-Men are pretty good. Fighting, it looks like. Look at this. Mr. Fantastic. Intelligence is a 6. So he's up there. Fighting ability is a 3. Speed is a 2. Invisible Woman. Intelligence is only 3. She should be like a 4. I think she's smarter than that, but whatever. Fighting ability, they gave her a 4. She's a better fighter than Reed Richards. So there you have it. She's got energy projection too. That's pretty cool. Wonder Man. Strength is a 7. Fighting is 4. So he's a beast. I don't know why I'm looking at all of these and I didn't look at all the other ones, but this is the one you want to see. Wolverine and Captain America. You wanted to see them and Professor X just to compare. But, you know, Deathlock, 6 in strength. Wow. Fighting ability is also a 6. So he's a beast. Look at this. Shatterstar, one of my favorite characters from back in the day. I just love the name Shatterstar. I like the artwork on him and everything. I've always let my actions speak for me. New Mutants number 100. Look at Namor right there. His strength is also a 6. But then you go down to Wolverine. The best there is at what I do. But what I do isn't very nice. And I didn't even read that. I just said it before I even put the camera in focus. Not that strong, but his fighting ability is maxed out at 7. Speed is 2. Wolverine has this healing factor, which, you know, isn't accounted for in the stats here. Then you look at Cap. Cap is not that strong. Cap should be stronger than that. Captain America, didn't he move a tank or something like that? Super Soldier Serum, and you have him all the way at a 2? That can't be right. But intelligence, they gave him a 3. Speed, he's got 3. So that was reflective there. But his strength should be a little bit stronger. I think he should be 3 or, you know, whatever. But his fighting ability is also 7. So he's right up there with Wolverine. Nick Fury, pretty pedestrian, kind of like Punisher. But his fighting is a little bit better than Punisher. At least that's what they have it. So yeah, this is cool, man. Then let's look at Thor, man. Thor was one of those guys as well. The good guys can play hardball too. I always love that quote. There was another quote. I don't know if it was Thor in a different series where he says, being a superhero is not about superpowers. It's about tough choices. I've always lived by that because power in general is not about power. It's about making the tough choices, whether, you know, when to use your power and not to. That's really what it's about. But let's look at the dude here. 7 in strength, speed, he's 7 as well. Fighting ability is only a 4, but energy projection is a 6. So you would think he'd be a little bit higher. You think he'd be like a 5 in fighting ability, being that he's like a warrior, but he's a god on top of all that. But he's not. And then you look at Psylocke, who's a 5 in both mental powers and fighting ability, which amazed me as a kid because I really didn't understand her at all. She's really like two people. You know, Elizabeth Braddock is a British sounding name, but she's kind of switched places with, or maybe combined with, you know, another character. Revenge, you know, those two. So anyway, she's got those psychic abilities. Polaris is up here. Cable, fighting ability is also a 7. So, you know, he's on that Wolverine level, except he has no healing factor. Real name unrevealed. It was unrevealed back then. Now we know him as Nathan Escani's son, Summers. And then you've got Strife, who is his clone. But yeah, they've got real name unrevealed back here because it was so close to when he debuted. Colossus, strength is a 6. Fighting ability is 4. Yeah, they were like, none of the X-Men's fighting abilities are going to be low. So that's cool. And then we'll go through this. Let's look at this. Long shot. I always found him fascinating. Archangel. Speed. So his fighting ability is also 4. Look at that. Iron Man. Intelligence is 6. Energy projection 6. Fighting ability is 4. Speed is 6. So that's well balanced. And he's a regular dude. But he's smart as all get out. And he built an outfit. You know, he built a suit that can do that. Superhero? Would the world really think that if they knew the full story of the frail mortal man who lives inside this shell? Wow. Tales of Suspense, 39. But I like Iron Man more now. I appreciate him more now than I did as a kid. Thing. Strength is 6. Fighting ability is 4. It's clobbering time. See, some of y'all think CM Punk came up with that. No. It's Ben Grimm, the Thing. So yeah. Then it goes from superheroes to team-ups. We just want to look at Rogue real quick. Rogue is a 5 in strength on her own. And then fighting ability is a 4. Speed is a 4. But she can absorb other people's. And then they've got her name unrevealed as well. So that's interesting. Then you've got Havoc. Again, fighting ability is a 4. Energy projection is a 6. Spider-Man and Human Torch. They've got these team-ups, man. Starhawk, look at this guy. Fighting ability is also a 4. Speed is a 5. Mental powers is 6. Guardians of the Galaxy. We have yet to see him look like that. Although I thought that I thought Starhawk was in one of these last movies. Was he not like Sylvester Stallone's character or going to be his character? I can't remember, but it's one of the Guardians characters. So yeah, there's more and more team-ups. We're not going to go through all the team-ups. But, you know, the artwork was really cool here. You know, Daredevil and Black Widow. Will we ever see that? Red Skull and Baron Zemo. We're still waiting to see Power Man and Iron Fist on the live screen. Punisher and a Captain America. Can you believe it? They would team up. Wolverine and Havoc. Seriously. We skipped over Wolverine, Ghost Rider, and Punisher. Wolverine and Daredevil. There's a Thor corpse. Abomination. I mean, here's the super villains here. Let's look at Apocalypse here. Apocalypse. Oh, we missed Venom. Venom is in super villains. We share a beautiful hatred. That's probably him talking to his suit. Strength is a 5. And everything else is moderately low. Fighting ability. Destroyer. 7 in strength. He's got energy projection. Zodiac. Don't remember that guy, but he's a Ghost Rider villain. I didn't really read Ghost Rider. Apocalypse. Strength is a 6. Intelligence is 5. Energy projection 5. So, you know, he's up there in intelligence with Iron Man, but has lived for, you know, over a century. Look upon me, ye mutants and humans, and despair. He probably doesn't sound like that. You've got Dracula in here. Look at this. I mean, this is just... And then you remember the Wolverine villain, Cyber. Let's look at Dr. Doom, though. Doom, one of the best villains ever. Pain. Pain is like love, like compassion. It is only a thing for lesser men. What is pain to Doom? How badass is that? So yeah, fighting ability is at 3, speed is at 2. He's got some energy projection though, and his intelligence is up there with Reed Richards. So yeah, he's pretty cool. And then you've got Magneto Magnus. Instead of Eric Lesnar, they just got Magnus there. A new generation is being born, and with it must come a new world order. Okay. Intelligence, he's up there. He's up there, man. Energy projection 6. We didn't look at Charles Xavier. We should have looked at Xavier, but here's Cyber. He's stronger than Wolverine. He's got mental powers, but he can't fight like Wolverine. But he's got adamantium all over his arms. Then you've got another popular character, Mephisto. You've got Mad Thinker, Carnage. So we're not going to, again, we're not going to read through all these. Here's the Omega Red that I have. But we want to look at Thanos before we wrap it up. We at least want to look at Thanos, and then we'll call it a day there. So look at Mephisto here. Mephisto is 7 in everything except for fighting ability, which they gave him a 1. How is he a 7 in everything? I think they updated this to show that he's not that good. But yeah, it's not fever that chills your bones, but the presence of Mephisto, Lord of Evil, Silver Surfer, Volume 1, Number 3. So he's not that powerful. I believe they've nerfed him some, but they're like, he knows everything. He's got mental powers, 7. You know, this was just a product of the time here, where they can't figure out, excuse me as I drop this, they can't decide if they want him to be Satan himself or just another demon that has powers. But, you know, clearly he's inspired by Mephistopheles. But, yeah. Those of you who've read Spider-Man One More Day, you know why this character is revealed, or reviled, excuse me. But yeah, 7s and everything, dude. How? And then you look at Thanos, who, you know, the Infinity Gauntlet without it, he's still this strong. 6 in strength, intelligence, he's a 5, energy projection 6. Mental power is not that great, fighting ability is still a 4, and he's still fast as all get out. The heavens will run with blood, but in the end, as always, Thanos will stand triumphant. Yeah, right up there with Doom in terms of like killer quotes and stuff like that. Maelstrom. Let's look at Carnage. Maelstrom was pretty powerful too. This is a Quasar villain? Yeah. Get behind me, Thanos. I shall make whatever evil you have wreaked seems like child's play. We have yet to see him in the Marvel Universe, but he's pretty powerful too. Energy projection is 6. Speed is 6, so he's not as powerful as Thanos, but guess what? He's on par in fighting. He's got more mental abilities. He's just not as smart as Thanos or strong. But, you know, close. They rival each other. Yeah, so did we look at Carnage here? What is Carnage's quote? I'm killing you 'cause I can. He's got the all black looking suit on there. So yeah, Carnage's look has changed over the years a little bit, but strength is a 4, fighting ability is 4, so he's right up there with Spider-Man. But yeah, there's just so much more in here. So yeah, get this set if you can, when you can. Slapstick, look at that, rookies. These are all rookie characters. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I'm going to end this here. Rest in peace, Mark Merrill. We miss you. Thank you for everything. I'm going to miss playing Song Quiz with you. And I just wanted to do this to honor you. And, you know, I just hate that you're not going to be here to see this Spider-Man No Way Home. But I'll be thinking of you when I watch that. Kevin, you, your sister, your brother, keep your heads up. I'm here for you. You've got others who remember your father. We're here for you too. And to the rest of you, thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. Let me know if you have these cards or any of these other sets. Do you remember these things? Do you still have them? Have you sold them? Did they go for a lot of money? This is just awesome. This is why I love Marvel. Make mine Marvel. Excelsior! Oh, the yellow hat guy is out. Captain Sensation!